This video is to all people who fall into this situation and my younger self, if I could make a video to my younger self. Basically, there's a lot of people who are going to college and for whatever reason they think they're missing out. They're in school and stuff, but they feel like everyone else is going to these parties or events and so forth, and they're missing out on them or whatever. It's not really happening. I think this is a bit of an illusion, first off. A lot of people don't get invited to parties. You know, it's a bit of an exclusive thing sometimes unless you go to like a party school. And second off, if like it was so simple, then why aren't you invited? So more so than that though, I do think that wasting your time, you know, thinking about this, contemplating it, it's just pointless, and you could, you know, it's stupid. And oftentimes, you know, there's plenty of amazing people that will like you for just how you are, give or take. You know, arguably, there may or may not be a lot of stuff that you can change about yourself that you're doing wrong. Maybe you're coming off very, very desperate, or you're not really that cool, or whatever it is. Just stop worrying about it. If you're really concerned about making friends and so forth, you know, go out and make friends. Learn how to make friends. Work on yourself. Go to clubs of interest, activities, socialize, and so forth. And start thinking like, why do you really emphasize this so much? Why do you need to go to these things? Oftentimes it's like, oh, I want to get girls, or oh, they seem to be so cool, these happening folks, awesome people. Well, if there's such awesome individuals, then why aren't you hanging about them, or why aren't they interested in inviting you out? And also, it's like, you know, it may seem that way, but then in reality, it's like, it's just a party. It's a lot of alcohol, whatever. You know, it can be fun still, of course, but arguably, you know, there are much more pressing issues that a lot of people are more focused on in school. You know, they're worried about their grades, succeeding in the future in life, a lot of things, maybe impacting the world, and that's their focus on school. So, you know, maybe you can work on that. And if you're on that extreme where you've been focusing on academics, and perhaps all of a sudden you've kind of woken up or thought like, you know, it'd be cool to have a bit of a social life and so forth. You know, start going to clubs and stuff, making friends, doing other stuff. Like, it does not have to be through these social events, especially if you're not invited and you're bummed out that you're missing out. Oh yes, one last important thing. It can be the case that you are a pretty decent, awesome dude, but for whatever reason, based off your small community, maybe somewhat large community, and slash or your lack of social skills and a bunch of other stuff, you're just not coming across right. And sometimes it's just the fact that you haven't met the right people. You know, not always, but sometimes half the battle is getting yourself in front of people who will like you. I think that's in life, it's kind of like that, and sometimes. So just think it through. You know, in certain ways, I do think that a lot of people who I met would have liked me back in the day as well. Honestly, most people, I think, you know, most people that liked me, if not all of them, like, I don't think I needed to really change much. I mean, definitely social skills and a bunch of other stuff helps, but generally, like, if they like you, they will like you. So that's just like my personal opinion from my limited experiences. It could be completely wrong. Just throwing that out there. Maybe bad advice. Just throwing that out there. I don't know. Based on your situation, it may be different. But again, you know, check yourself. Don't get too arrogant into thinking that you're some perfect individual. Maybe you're coming across very creepy, weird, desperate, or just a lot of other things. Or maybe these aren't people that you want to hang about in the first place. Or, you know, you do, but you're not being social enough to get invited because you haven't even talked to them. Or, you know, you're emphasizing this way too much and it's not that important. And, you know, there's more to it than that. Like, if just start meeting people, having friends and stuff like that. And yeah, stop stressing. It is quite fascinating because I do think that, like, you know, for sure, a lot of things I've done have probably helped me in terms of my confidence, how I am comfortable around a lot of people now, how I can talk to people and so forth. I do think stomping out a lot of shyness to a reasonable level where I'm like reasonably comfortable around people has helped. Um, but generally speaking, I'm just a pretty normal, decent guy. And long story short, half the battle is again just getting in front of people and meeting people who like you for how you are. And it is kind of interesting. Sometimes it's all, you can do that through just a common purpose, common pathway, or you meeting, whatever that may be. It can be something where you're both interested in volunteering, or both interested in an activity, or you can again just meet people out of the blue and see if you click. Or sometimes it can be through work or your activities that you're interested in, or your major. And what I found fascinating is I do think that to a certain extent, like if for certain activities and stuff like that, I do think that um, if I had not gone to them, or if I had not fallen into this pathway where I was doing this thing or doing that, and there's some central common purpose that connected us and allowed us to meet,